Hey everyone, this is Corey with Stafford's EDC, and today we're going to be doing a quick review on the CJRB Feldspar button lock. So this here is a White Mountain Knives exclusive. This is in contoured black micarta with some blue, probably aluminum anodized pivot collars here. And without further ado, let's get into it. This knife is coming to me by Mike from Sharpened Blade. As you all know by now, I am his proxy here in the US. So when he orders some stuff from the US, it typically shows up at my house, and this was no exception. So, like I said, we have black micarta scales that are contoured. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that, but it's got some nice contouring to it. And this, of course, is a button lock. CJRB Feldspar was a budget knife of the year for a lot of people. Maybe not a winner, but certainly a contender when it came out a few years ago. This one is in their Artisans, I know it's CJRB, but Artisan Cutlery owns CJRB. So this is in their AR RPM 9 steel, which is essentially like a better 9CR. So it's really nothing special, but I had no issues with this steel at all. It held a decent edge for me, and it stayed plenty sharp through cardboard and plastic. And yeah, no real complaints from me. I'm used to using a lot nicer steels, of course, but sometimes using a cheaper steel like this reminds you that they're not as terrible as you might think that they are. The action on this is really good, and something I want to say is that these have been hit or miss on the spring strength, I should say, I guess, or like it's not a detent because it's just about disengaging the interaction between the button lock and the tang of the blade, but essentially the detent on this one is pretty good. It was a little bit stiff at first, and then it has broken in nicely to where it fires out. I'm running this left-handed just because I'm recording this in the car and it's easier for you guys to see, and I have no issues using this left or right-handed. You know, no problem with a reverse flick or a thumb flick, but it's been hit or miss from what I have heard. I heard from Lefty EDC that his had really like no detent at all, and Backpack B, Brent, his has a super strong detent. So that's a shame, and it's you know, not easy to recommend a knife with such discrepancies in QC. But I mean, for like $60 or whatever this costs, it's not a bad deal at all. Like I said, it's not the best steel in the world, but it's done fine. The button lock is done well. There's a slight audible stick, but nothing that's nothing that makes you like really have to push through it. It's very, very light to the stick is light is what I'm saying. It sounds worse than it is in practice. The Malibu that I had in the past was stickier than this was, so that's not too bad to deal with in my opinion, but that may vary for other people. You can see the action just falls right shut as it is on bearings. And another nice thing about this is you have a deep carry clip with recessed screws, so it carries nice and deep. This clip does have way too much tension on it. I struggle to bend this out with my thumb, and yeah, it's just too tight on this one. It could be better on some other ones, as we have already seen talking about the detent strength. Their QC can definitely vary from piece to piece, even in a dealer exclusive lineup like this guy. Something else I should mention too is that these come in a micarta with red pivot collars as well, so that's just something to keep in mind. If did I say, I might have said micarta again, carbon fiber. If I said carbon fiber, then ignore what I'm saying now. But yes, carbon fiber with red pivot collars is the other version that is available of this. They are out of stock, I believe. They should be restocking in a couple of weeks. It's the 19th of May as I'm filming this, but they should be restocking sometime in June. My final thoughts on this are that if you dig the design and like the way that this feels in your hand of the original Feldspar, then you want a button lock version, you think you'd like that better, then go for it. I never handled the original Feldspar. I do like the contoured scales. The ergos are okay for me. The handle's a little bit too narrow in this area where my pointer finger and thumb are. So it's not the most comfortable grip in the world to be in here like this. It's fine. It's just not, I feel like I'm just missing a little bit. And then choking up is just, it's too small of an area up here. I don't know if it's going to focus. Hopefully it does. There we go. You know, there's just enough space to get your pointer finger in here, and it's just the tip of the finger. I wear large size gloves, so for me, this is a squeeze. You can see, trying to find the best angle for this. You can see it just barely fits my finger without stabbing myself with the heel of the blade. So that's a little unfortunate, but you know, that's the design. I can't control the design. That's just for my hands. You know, it's going to change based off your hand size. But yeah, that is the CJRB Feldspar button lock. As I said, these are available on White Mountain Knives, currently out of stock. Should be restocked in a couple weeks. If you like the design and you want a button lock version, go for it. Just be aware that this may be an exception, being a good example here. So that's going to be it from me today. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and take care.